So here's some post. It's a digital caliper, £6.88, and I was interested in whether they can possibly be any good for that money. So I thought I'll buy one, £6.88, and find out. I got this from st_mounting on eBay, £6.88 delivered. Oh, it's already got a battery in it. Well, it's working anyway, and it's got a spare battery, so that's good. Battery goes in there. So I could compare it with a standard micrometer, I suppose, but I haven't got one handy. But one test is whether it will zero or not. This is a good indication of whether it knows where it is with any authority. Well, it's gone back to 0. Let's go a long way away. And back to 0, and it's really on 0. Pressing 0 to put it back to 0 is not the same thing at all, of course. If it doesn't know where it is, it can't be measuring very accurately. So if it doesn't return to 0 with great reliability, assuming that the faces of the jaws are clean, then it's crap. It cannot measure properly. This seems to be returning to 0 time and again. Let's measure something. What about the thickness of the polythene? Here. There you go. So that's saying it's 0.14 of a millimeter. Let's do it again. 0.06. 0.06. Now I could be crimping it up, I suppose. 0.05. 0.14 was too big anyway, but now we go back. Yeah, back to 0. So on that limited analysis then, this seems to be fine. It goes millimeters and inches, metric and imperial, so that's good. Self-zeroing option and on-off. I have a friend who's got a digital caliper like, well, not like this, different make, and it seems to flatten batteries even when it's turned off. So I'll do a test in a minute to see if this is like that. But based on its accuracy in terms of its ability to return to 0, this seems to be doing the business. So far, so good. Up here, but it works. And what we're going to do is test the off current for this device. So I've got the battery sandwiched in an uneasy clamp arrangement here on a razor blade. This is the negative battery terminal, and this is the positive battery terminal once it's been through the meter. So let's put the device here. Let's carefully touch the terminals on. So that's negative and that's positive. So we can see that the device is off. Now the device is on and it's drawing 14.5 microamps. Now the device is off and it's drawing, oh dear, nearly the same 13.5 microamps. Let's just check. On, off, on. So there's almost no point in turning this thing off. Let's just check we're not doing anything silly. No leakage current through my hands or anything like that. No, I don't think there is. Touched on there. Off. 13.34, somewhere around there. On, off. Okay, so that confirms what he said. The batteries go flat, and that's, I suppose, why there was a spare one sent in the package, because the one in the device was likely to be flat by the time it got here because they just sit in the shelf. So two ways you can look at that. One is dreadful, send it back. The other one is, look, it was 688 and live with it. The third one is take the battery out when you've finished using it. I'll just see how long a battery like this will last at 13.5 microamp drain. Well, this is an LR44, which Wikipedia tells me is an alkaline battery with a capacity of 150 milliamp hours. And if you do the sums, that works out at 1.2 years on the 13.4 microamp drain. So I think on the whole we can live with that. So pop that back in there, pop the lid back on. So what are we saying? Battery drain is not really a problem. Battery insertion is apparently a problem. There you go. It zeros consistently. Let's just zeros consistently, which suggests it measures accurately because it knows where it is. Mechanically it seems fairly reasonable. The battery life is great. Turn it on or don't turn it off, or don't turn it off, doesn't really matter. And £6.88. So barring disasters, I'm saying that's a thumbs up.